This is an intro. Who needs an intro? I don't need an intro. This is just a vape show. It's just a vape show. Vape show. This is an intro. Who needs an intro? I don't need an intro. This is just a vape show. It's just a vape show. Vape show.
YouTube, what is up? I'm your homeboy Josh, back at ya, and today we're going to take a look at some goodies from BVAPEHAPPY.com. Sent these items on over to me free for the purpose of this review. 13th Floor Elevapors, Bermuda, Scholar Handcrafted, Jelly, Coils from JONESNBUILDS on Instagram, a really popular builder, and we've got the Warhead by MCV Philippines. But before we get into this new offering from MCV Philippines, I do want to take the time to remind you that we all have a part to play in the fight against Big Pharma, Big Tobacco, the FDA, and the deeming regulations that are looming over our heads. That means if you're on social media, remember you paint the best possible image of the vape community that you can. If you're a shop or a shop owner, you need to educate your customers who come in. Let them know that it's their fight too. They need to get involved if they want to keep vaping. Remember to support all of CASAA's calls to action, including that to support HR 2058 and the Cole-Bishop Amendment. The Warhead RDA breaks down so you get your white Delrin 510 Driptip adapter. You get a chuff cap, also in white Delrin. You get your upper airflow sleeve. You get your lower barrel, which also houses your main airflow control and the engraving. And you get your deck. With the Warhead RDA, you get two drip tip options. That means you get a top cap, which houses a standard 510 drip tip adapter, and you also get a white Delrin chuff cap, which also houses its own sort of spitback protection. It's actually one of the few spitback protections I've ever seen that I haven't felt the desire to just gut it out of the chuff cap. So really happy with how this one played out, guys. It does a great job, honestly, in not distorting the flavor and not creating a net where juice is caught and then comes back into my mouth when I take a pull. It actually is a very successful spitback protection, if you ask me. The Warhead is designed by Joy Soriano over at MCV Philippines. How do I know that? It's written right here on the side. It says Warhead by Joy Soriano, and it's got a nice, decent engraving here. It's not super deep. I like that it's not super deep. It's not going to get a bunch of dirt that's going to collect in here. It's a bit of a shallow engraving, but it's actually really well made, if you ask me. It's just deep enough. The lower barrel also encompasses your airflow control, and you have a nice, big, wide opening here that you can use to adjust the airflow, cinching it open and closed against the openings on the deck. I want to say it's something like 2 millimeters by 15 millimeters, something like that. It's a nice big Cyclops style airflow opening here. It's actually machined better on the bottom half than the top half. I think that's probably due to the thicker metal that's used on the bottom half of the top cap. The top half of the top cap is definitely just a tiny bit thinner, but in no way do I feel it to be weak in any way. The upper airflow control houses 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 airflow openings, and I want to say that there's something like 3 millimeters by 5 millimeters. They're very ample airflow openings, and this is kind of your secondary airflow control here. And when you close it off completely, it kind of frames the engraving on the lower barrel really well. It just kind of looks really aesthetically pleasing, I think, when everything is closed down. It creates these sort of divots and holes right above where it says Warhead. And I just think it has a really cool look to it for some reason. You can also open up this secondary airflow, and you can open it up little by little or open it up all the way, and it gives you a lot of flexibility if you really want to open up the cloud chasing capabilities of this device. The bottom airflow alone is substantial, but the top airflow, I mean, just opening up one of the secondary airflow openings at the top makes a huge difference. There's just a little bit of a burr remaining on the secondary airflow in the top cap. Just a tiny bit though, and it's not offensive to me in the least. But there are no sharp corners here. There's nothing here where I feel like if I grip too hard and turn, it's going to cut me. It's actually very nicely machined. It feels like good tough metal, honestly. Thick enough that it doesn't feel overpoweringly chunky, but it doesn't feel flimsy either. There's no way I'm going to bend this. Good 304 stainless steel. But the deck is chunky. The Warhead RDA features a more or less standard quad terminal deck. You've got basically a T-post in the middle housing 2 positive posts, and you've got the negative posts off to the side milled into the deck. The moment I popped open the top cap and took a look at this deck, the first word that came to my mind was chunky. Chunky, beefy deck. I mean, the posts are thick. I'm not talking about the post holes, mind you. The post holes are 3 millimeters each, which is ample. You can fit pretty much anything in these post holes, but what I'm talking about is the thickness of the posts themselves. These posts are about 5 millimeters deep. The screws themselves are super wide. Anything you put in here is going to fit, A, and B, because those screws are so chunky, because that post is so wide, it's going to make an excellent connection with whatever you put into these posts. Around the base and the deck where the airflow comes in at the bottom, one of them feels like there's a little bit of a sharp corner here, but the others feel very smooth. That dichotomy between the two, how this is really light and this is really heavy. And it works really well together because the bottom airflow is really easy to open up. The top airflow is really easy to open up and close down as well. It's just like gripping down on the bottom section and then spinning it pretty freely like this. It's really well constructed. The other thing about the deck is that there's no airflow passing underneath the coils in between the posts here. There's basically just a big old block, a wall down the center of the deck made up by the T-post here. I feel like if that was cut away a little bit more, that could help with the airflow underneath the coils, keep the air circulating a little bit better. But at the same time, I don't know, it seems to work very well, and it's got airflow, the secondary airflow that passes over the coils, so airflow is not an issue here, essentially, if you ask me. There's plenty of airflow. It's for sure a cloud comp RDA. Way more airflow than most people need. If you're going to a cloud comp, you over-prepared. Even for a cloud RDA, it's some pretty decent flavor here, because the airflow is pointed up at the coils at an angle, and it also helps reduce leaking. The only time I get any leaking on this is when the top airflow is open. That's the only time I get any juice that collects around the edge or anything like that. Otherwise, it stays pretty clean. And even without the secondary airflow open at all, I get excellent cloud production, but I get way more flavor that way. The airflow is basically coming up at an angle right at those coils. But I think the flavor has a lot to do with the Clapton coils that BVAPEHAPPY sent over. BVAPEHAPPY didn't just send me the Warhead RDA, it sent me these Clapton coils by JONESNBUILDS. JONESNBUILDS is a huge builder on Instagram. Right now he has something like 26,500 followers on Instagram. He sells his fused Claptons over on BVAPEHAPPY.com for $10 a pair. These are 2 strands of 26 fused with 36, and they ohm out at 0.16 ohms when you dual them up together. They arrive in this glass bottle with a cork up top with the JB insignia. And building on this thing is a fucking joy, let me tell you. Huge, chunky, 3mm post holes. The Allen key that is used with this, I could not find one. I know that's supposed to come with a set of O-rings, some extra screws, and I'm pretty sure it would come with an Allen key too, but maybe I missed it. I can't find the extras, and I know it's supposed to come with them because it says that it comes with them right on the site. I can't find them for the life of me. I ended up having to go next door to my neighbor and ask for an Allen key that would fit on this. Those grub screws use like an extra beefy Allen key. It's like a 5/64th bit Allen key, and I don't have one that fits. So once I got all that squared away and I was ready to build this thing, I was thrilled at how easy it was to plant these fused Claptons in here. They just slid right on into those post holes. There was no difficulty whatsoever seating them in there, and those posts just swallow them right up. There's room for way more in here. I'd be hard pressed to find something that wouldn't fit in these posts. These screws are super chunky. I don't see the heads on these screws wearing out anytime soon. This is an authentic RDA from MCV Philippines, made by Joy Soriano, and it also has a premium price tag. You're gonna have to fork over $129.99 at BVAPEHAPPY.com. Is it worth that price? Well, the construction is very good, very good. There are a couple of pain points where the machining on the inside of the top cap are not as smooth as they could potentially be, but they're pretty darn close. The deck does have one sharp corner on it, so it does have just a couple of small pain points for that price tag if you ask me. But for the collector, the Warhead RDA is serialized. I have number 22. On the bottom of the RDA, it has that serial number. It says Masterpiece Custom Vapes, and it's got a copper positive pin. For the person that loves to go to the cloud comps, for the person that really loves 30mm RDAs, for the builder, for the person that likes lots and lots of airflow options, that likes a super deep juice well. I don't even know how deep this thing is. I mean, it's a massive well. For the person that loves the aesthetic of this, I can understand buying this one. Absolutely. Absolutely. You show off. But BVAPEHAPPY didn't stop there. They also sent on over some of the Scholar. I don't know what I'm doing here. I don't do juice reviews. You're on your own, man. Later. Jelly by Scholar. Some pretty good stuff, man. The description doesn't do it justice, to be honest with you. Scholar presents Jelly eLiquid. Jelly is a simply delicious raspberry jelly-filled powdered donut flavor to rival all donut eLiquids on the market. Scholar has nailed it again. Jelly is lightly sweet with a hint of tart raspberry and that full donut vape experience that we all know and love. Not to worry, it's not too tart, which allows you to vape on it all day. No doubt you will love this jelly donut flavor eLiquid. What gets me about this juice is that there's another note in there. And maybe I'm crazy and I'm hallucinating this note, but it's a tobacco note that I'm getting. And what I'd compare it to more than anything else, Nick's Blissful Brews, the Smoked Custard Plus. It's like a raspberry jelly donut with just a hint of custard and tobacco. Just takes it over the top for me. Like, I get the bakery, I get the jelly donut, and it's like a rich, dark raspberry. It's delicious. Delicious. And it's only $14.99 for a 30ml bottle. That's pretty sweet. 50 cents a milliliter. I can get on board with that. And they sent on over Bermuda from 13th Floor Elevapors. Now, this one I was not the biggest fan of when I first tried it, so I passed it on to my wife because I knew that she would like this, because all I got off of it was like this candy, fruity kind of thing. BVAPEHAPPY is proud to offer 13th Floor Elevapors eLiquid. These were tested at the TPE Las Vegas show and are amazing. Bermuda is mixed berries on a bed of sweet cream with champagne drizzle. A true all-day vape, and it's a 60-40 blend. $16.99 for a 30ml bottle, and that's a pretty sweet price, which is good because I think Waffles really like this one. She left me just enough to sample, I think, so I'm going to pull out the wicks. We're going to give it a try. Just a little bit of fresh wick from Kendo. When I wick this thing, what I attempt to do is basically keep all space open underneath the coil and just tuck the cotton off to the sides. Yeah, she left me just enough to get the wick saturated, so sweet. Now, reading the description, I'm honestly kind of surprised that Waffles like this juice, because she's not into cream vapes at all. The moment I read sweet cream, I was like, why would she have liked this juice? She hates cream vapes. I love them. I don't know. I mean, I don't get like a natural berry on this thing at all. I don't get like a champagne kind of thing at all. I just get like straight up candy. Yeah. Like a really good candy vape. I'm just not a candy vape kind of person. I definitely get like a berry kind of thing. If you like that kind of thing, like a candy vape, it's a great juice. I just, I don't like candy vapes. It's like sweet, and it's a little tart, but in a good way. It's really good for a candy vape. So at BVapeHappy.com, you can pick up the Warhead by Joy Soriano over at MCV Philippines. You can pick yourself up some JONESNBUILDS fused Claptons, and you can pick yourself up some Scholar Jelly or some Bermuda by 13th Floor Elevapors. I gotta say, I really like Scholar, but not for the reasons you'd think. Not because it's a jelly donut, but because it reminds me of Nick's Blissful Brews in the best way. Full disclosure, I do get a 7% commission when you click the affiliate link in the description of this video and make a purchase at BVapeHappy.com. I do appreciate if you use that affiliate link, but it doesn't affect my opinion of these products in any way, and I definitely appreciate your support there. Remember to fight for your right to vape. Vape on, Vapers. That's his line. Until next time, I'm your homeboy Josh. Vape on, Vapers.